My earliest memory as a child is, I think I was about 3 or 4. We had like a VHS, and it was a compilation of Eddie Murphy,
Raw,
Richard Pryor,
legends,
and Rowan Atkinson doing stand-up.
He's good though.
Yeah, he is. People don't know it.
Yeah, he's good.
Rowan Atkinson's one-man show.
My dad actually used to drive for him. Yeah, and used to tell me about stuff like that. Serious.
Very sharp guy.
Mad. Yeah, proper.
Very sharp guy. Blackadder was genius as well. So like, I grew up watching that stuff, and like Monty Python and the Holy Grail we had in the house as well, which I would watch all the time as a kid. And like that kind of triggered my interest in creativity, even though like, so my sister got allowed to be an art student. I was forced to be a science student. I was pressured because my dad's a doctor. In my family, there's about 17 or 18 of them, right, on one side. So, but our family is the only one that didn't produce someone in medicine. Everyone, so one of my brothers is an engineer, but owns a business. The other one's like a flipping lecturer, qualified, but he does his business and stuff. My sister was going to do law. So in Nigeria, you're either science or art. If you want to be a lawyer, you have to go through art.
Okay,
humanities and so on.
I hear you.
And I'm guessing comedian wasn't on the list of...
No. But as a young kid, watching stand-up, at the back of my mind, I was like, I want to be like those guys.
Wow.
They're so cool.
Yeah.
But there was no... And also, stand-up wasn't as big as it is now.
There wasn't an avenue.
Yeah. So you can imagine my surprise when I'm, in prison and like, I'm doing like creative writing, and I was helping other inmates learn to read and write, because as you know, the average literacy level of an inmate in a male prison anyway is that of a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
So I was helping because I thought I felt bad about the crimes I committed. Let me give back. Already in jail, I was thinking about this because deep down in my heart, I wasn't a criminal. I didn't want to be a criminal.
Yeah.
So then what were your plans for release then?
You know what? At first, in prison, my first cycle in there, it was survival first. Okay. And then I bumped into like lecturers. And this is why all the creatives that go to prison, all the educators that go to are very important. That go into prisons and do work. Because I met creative writing and drama and all this. And I got an interest in it. And I was like, yeah, I really like this stuff. And then I wrote something that was published for like the prison magazine or newsletter or whatever. I did a lot of poetry and short stories. And I read a short story in front of a class. Everybody was in hysterics. And the lecturer said, Nabil, honestly, you have a natural humor to you. And you're a good storyteller. You're captivating. You should do stand-up. And I thought, nah. Right. And then one day, going to get lunch. Yeah, I was going to get lunch. And I was telling a story to the guy behind me. And this guy in front of me, like, that would never smile, like, very, like, mean guy turns. Like, hey, big man. You're funny. When I was outside, I used to book comedy shows. And you're funnier than most of the guys I used to book.
Oh.
I was like, oh, really? So do you reckon when I get out, you could help me? I said, no, I'm a drug dealer now. How are you planning the crime you're going to commit next? Like, we're already in here. Like, it's only when I got out that I realized why he already had resigned himself to a life of crime.
Yeah.
Because that's a horrible space to be in, being an ex-offender.
Yeah.
You did a show on National Prison Radio where you're talking about seeing a prison neighbour, a neighbour that you had in prison in a very well-known venue. Can you tell us about that story? So, because I became a model inmate eventually, I got given decap.
Yeah.
So I went...
Big up all the open prisoners.
Whoop.
Yeah. So like, I went to HMP Ford, and there was a guy that was there. Like, when I first arrived, there weren't any black prisoners there. I arrived just before the influx of South London Mandem. Right?
Hey.
So when I arrived, it was just me and this other big Nigerian guy on the same billet, because it's army billets. And like, I remember, like I said, I'm a bit of a troll. Right? When I'm comfortable, I'm a joker. Right? So I used to troll this guy every day. I would moonwalk past his door. Then I moonwalk.
Honestly, if I was not in a good headspace,
and then just
but
that's jokes, man.
I would do it with a serious face. I just moonwalk just to keep.
It would even like spiral you down, or it'd have to make your day.
It's
like,
gonna have to make you laugh.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So he used to tell me that I'm mad. Anyway, one time I was sitting down, we were just talking about life, because he was in he had a similar background to myself. And he was like, it's a shame that like people like us, we're not just encouraged to do the things that we love and we enjoy. It's a shame that the roads pressure you, your parents pressure you, and you end up spending a lot of your life living for other people. And I was like, yeah, what do you want to do when you come out? Because we decided, when I'm not going to live my life for other people when I come out. I'm going to do what I want to do. I said, I want to give comedy a go. Or just try and shit. I was like, yeah, I'm going to try and give comedy a go. He said, yeah? Yeah, you should. With all the weird shit that you do, you should do comedy. That's what he said to me. Then he said that when he comes out, like, he wants to work in theatre. Maybe not on stage, but definitely behind the scenes, writing and directing. I said, okay. So fast forward 14 years. I've been given like a 1 week stay at Soho Theatre in Covent Garden area. I'm doing my show. This show was called NABIL, which was an acronym for Nobody Actually Believed I'd Lost.
Mad.
And
wow.
The show talks about like all my experiences, like what I suffered as a kid, getting stabbed, all that stuff, to becoming the comedian that's done all the TV and stuff that I'm doing and will continue to do, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And the posters were all over Soho Theatre. And like, I remember I'm sitting backstage with my agent, Hannah. I sat down and we're in the green room and there's a knock on the door and she opens the door and this like huge guy walks in. And I get up like me, and I'm like, oh shit, Marvin. They're like, yeah. I said, what are you doing here? He said, today's my debut. I'm directing the show upstairs.
Mad.
Oh my God.
Mad.
Yeah.
That's crazy, isn't it? How did that feel?
I mean, I believe everything happens for a reason. And I think, like, one thing, I'm not the most talented. I'm not the smartest. I'm not the best looking. I'm not the strongest. But one thing nobody can beat me with is self-belief and willpower.
I heard that.
If I say I'm going to do something, even if you kill me, I'll still do it.
I heard that.
And I believed with all my heart that I was going to do this. And he's the same. He believed with all his heart. And as an ex-offender, being an ex-offender is one of the worst. Like, there's few people more stigmatized than ex-offenders.
Yeah.
I would say homeless people, people with mental health, refugees, ex-offenders, where people that the world doesn't look at as human.
Just kind of like parked off.
And it's so, and I think, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I've done bad stuff. We all have. The difference between me and most people is that I got caught doing it. But it's like, what is the point of prison if after being rehabilitated, you still don't give me a chance? Because like when I came out, like I wondered, like when I told, like when he said, "Oh, I'm a drug dealer now," I thought, why would you still label yourself that? But then try getting a job. Try getting a job as an ex-offender. A few years back, I actually started for a bit. I had my own supported housing organization.
Tell us
and we worked with ex-offenders. We worked with ex-offenders, vulnerable homeless people, people avoiding SA and DA, so our women's unit and so on. And we were a grassroots organization. I wasn't in it for the money. I wanted to provide what was never there for me when I got out. And
what was that you wanted to provide? I
wanted to provide support, man, because I had to do this stuff by myself. I came out of jail and in 1 week I had a job. The following week I was at uni. Shout out to Urban Junction and Global Sports.
Yeah.
Because, I went out looking, I moved in with my brother. My brother's like, yeah, you need to get a job. And, no, I hope you're okay. How are you coping? You need to get a job. Yeah, you can't just be in my house. You need to get a job. No, okay, I put together a CV. And,
was it the days where you could hand them out?
Yeah,
cool.
And it's like, every roadman CV looks the same. You just got bare qualifications that don't make sense. Computer driving license, British Weightlifting Association,
community college,
Bulgarian pole dancing. Anyway, so like, I went into the WIC Gift Center and I bumped into somebody who would be integral to my story later on in life. Shout out to Armadix. He knows who he is. I see this guy and I follow him and he goes into a shop and they're all Muslims. And I go in and I'm like, look, I'm looking for a job. They're like, okay. And they sold stuff like Air Jordans, New Era hats and so on. I said, okay, these people, if anybody will hire me to
it's got to be these ones,
because everyone else has been, So I handed my CV and they were like, okay, we'll see. They weren't friendly enough, and the next day I get a call. Can you work tomorrow? Yeah.
Yeah.
I went in. Years later, I found out that guy knew that. He said that when I was walking something brushed, he saw my tag.
Okay.
I said, then why did you hire me? He said, because if we don't trust you, we don't trust our own. Who's going to trust our own? And, you know, literally, so I worked in that shop for years. It was in that shop that I met the first people that helped me get a gig.
Wow.
You know, like the flyer I saw that made me say, let me go and try.
So how long after being released from prison did you get your first gig? And
a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
Listen, I don't waste time. I do not waste time.
So you were on this comedy journey from pretty much after release?
Straight away. And the thing is, things just fell into place, but it didn't go as smoothly as planned. My first ever gig was probably the most embarrassing day of my life.
Tell us about it.
Imagine you want to take up boxing, you go to the gym, and then Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, and Deontay Wilder are there. And you look like the guy that their girlfriend cheated on them with. and you're the only person available for sparring.
Oh, man.
Them beats me die. Like, so I went out like...
What an experience, though.
Oh,
like, how
horrible.
important are those? But how important are those moments? Like,
I would rather have not had that experience.
That's me trying to make you feel better.
No, it's okay.
Fair enough.
No, but sometimes you need that, no?
To live is to suffer.
Wait, I don't think he's going to agree.
I know, but don't you need that sometimes just to like build some sort of resilience?
No, like I said.
He was born with resilience, Zach.
To live.
I was born resilient, bro.
To live is to suffer. And to survive is to find meaning in the suffering.
Where's that from?
Nietzsche, but most people know it from DMX. Another philosopher of great repute.
I listen, in his own right.
Yeah, absolutely.
In his own right, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
What about that journey from we're gonna bring it up because we have to the journey from HMP to Britain's Got Talent, that journey
HMP to BGT.
How did that happen and what was that like?
So okay, at this time, you know, like I'm out of jail. I've been doing comedy for a while. Mainstream media does not touch me because my comedy is a bit, you know, hardcore or out there compared to what was on TV at the time.
Okay.
I couldn't get an agent. No agent would touch me. And then I'm doing this job like with this company that I created because I could not get a day job. Nobody would hire me.
Wow.
And then the person I'm running this business with starts stealing from the business.
Whoa. And
doing horrible things that put clients in danger, like putting people that are from rival gangs into the same house because she just wanted to get the money.
Yeah.
And like trying to take out contracts in my name. And this is what I'm saying. When you're an ex-offender, you're vulnerable as well because people do things to you because they know that you will get in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's like if she takes out fraudulent contracts and stuff in my name,
they're not believing you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I said, and then I remember I got married while I was at uni. So like, my wife is about to have a second child.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to make something happen, but I can't stay in this company because if something goes wrong, I'm the one that's gonna get done. No one's gonna listen to me.
So is that when you had to walk away?
I walked away. I didn't know what the plan was.
How did that feel at that moment?
It's, you know, it's scary because like, you know, the pressure of being a father and a husband is not, you know, obviously being a mom has pressures too, no doubt. But when it comes to being the patriarch of a family where, like, nobody ever says deadbeat mom, you know?
It's deadbeat dad.
It's deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I was like, I faced the comedy full on. I'm like, I'm going to go back to being a full-time comic. And the thing is, even though I never got mainstream acceptance, I had a cult following.
Okay.
So I was doing well, but I was like, this, I need to do more. I'm just as good as these guys on TV. They're all I'm better than them, right? They just have opportunity.
Yeah.
That's the difference between me and them, opportunity. So the Britain's Got Talent thing kind of fell in my lap. And I was in two minds about doing it. I was like, I don't want to do this because they're going to...
How did it fall into your lap?
You get a call. Like they
Oh, really?
You get a call. It's 50% people who turn up.
Okay.
But like getting a call doesn't mean
that you're going to get through. Yeah,
true.
Of
course,
Most people that get buzzed off were given the call. It's just
mad.
Okay.
They're just like, okay, would you be willing to do it to audition?
Okay.
And you go there, but they have no control.
Yeah. How well you do.
Yeah. And like I remember having panic attacks because I used to have severe stage fright.
Wow.
Because I forgot to mention, I'm not naturally a sociable person. I'm an introvert.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, you would not think that.
Yeah, but like with many things, I've had to adapt. I'm a very shy man. I don't like large crowds.
Oh, wow.
You know, I'm not, but I have to be this way.
Yeah.
So I've learned to mask it. But like, I was terrified. I remember panic attacks up on like weeks before the shows.
Wow.
But I remember one night I went to practice at a comedy club a day before my audition. And one person walked up to me and said, I want to take a picture with you because I feel this is going to be your year.
Mad.
Then someone else said, oh, you should do Britain's Got Talent. I think you do well at that. Then another person that same night was like, yeah, I see big things for you. I see big things coming for you, honestly. And I thought,
this is crazy.
And then
what happened on Britain's Got Talent?
The next day, I went there and it was terrifying. Like, if you see the queue of contestants, I went there with my kids. They were wearing big shades. People thought they were the ones auditioning.
I'm not going to lie. I've queued up in, I think it was X Factor, with a friend that wanted to go on. And
Daunting.
it is long. It is long. And then, I wasn't auditioning, but
you felt it.
You've got that whole
and you're trying not to make the other person nervous.
Well, we won't go into that, but it's just, it doesn't even
Sorry,
matter.
friend.
It's the whole process.
You suck. You suck. Sorry.
Off. No, I'm joking.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
I went
I'm
there.
sorry.
Hold on a second. This
I'm
is
sorry. I'm
really
sorry.
mean.
I'm sorry.
I'm not renowned for being a nice guy.
She's actually really good, but as you know,
It happens.
It's just 50-50,
It's just,
isn't it?
it wasn't clicking in place that day. Anyway, yeah.
So anyway, I went there, and I remember being like, they thought, oh, is it your girls auditioning? And I was like, no, it's me. And they're like, oh. Sorry. Because obviously, I'm just a normal guy, fam. There's people there with all kinds of gadgets and equipment and dancing
I must have been
dogs
throwing you off even more.
And I'm like, I'm just here with jokes, fam. How am I supposed to? Am I John Wick? And I'm just going to come here and beat all these people. But then I thought, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And I had a piece of paper and I'd already written everything that was going to happen 6 months in advance.
Sick.
I wrote that I was going to get a golden buzzer. I believed it. I wrote that I was going to trend on Twitter and I was going to be, I was going to be divisive. Wow. And I wrote all of that. I knew it was going to happen. And I was talking my talk from the start of the day. When they interviewed me, they said, what's going to happen? I said, I'm going to get a golden buzzer. I said, who was going to give it to me? I said all these things. And when I went, there were 16 comedians on before me.
Mad.
And I came there 10 o'clock in the morning. I went on at 9 o'clock at night, 9:15. I'd not eaten, I'd not slept properly in 3 days. Exhausted. I said, this is it. Do or die.
Yeah.
And like, I remember my mom calling me before I went on stage and said, when your foot touches that stage, you'll feel a confidence you've never felt in your life. And I thought, when African moms pray for you. Hi.
Yeah, it's different.
I stepped on stage and I felt something like shock me. I just went on. And the thing is, the video you see on my audition doesn't do what I did justice.
I hear you.
Because I was on stage for 7 minutes. They only show you 90 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
I went on stage. I got like 5 standing ovations, like round of applause. They had to stop recording backstage because the audience was too loud.
Mad.
Wow.
Simon Cowell's feedback took 3 minutes.
Wow.
But they didn't even put it in
just show a little clip of it, innit?
Yeah. And like when they were the judges trying to push the goal, I was dancing on stage, right? They don't show that. And then when they hit the golden buzzer, right? Now I turned and I saw like a red X, so I thought that they'd like X man off. So I turn around, start swearing at the judges, and then confetti starts falling, and that's why you see for a second I get confused.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And in that moment, I thought about all the short straws I had, like all the times I got in trouble because of something that wasn't my fault. All the times where like I did comedy competitions and they'll give it to someone else because they fit the agenda of the promoter better. Or like all the times I auditioned for things and they won't give it to me because I didn't have an agent. And in that moment, I exploded. There was anger, happiness, because I knew things would be different.
From that moment.
I said, I don't know what's going to happen after this. But I knew that whatever it is, nobody can take this from me. They can't cheat me out of this. I did this. And I vowed to myself that if I went on that show I was gonna be just as raw as I always am.
Yeah.
Do this. So like, if you
No
watch the
filter.
semi-final, I went in there. I was talking about Islamophobia,
Yep.
anti-black racism,
Yep.
police brutality.
That was a good set, man.
Look backstage. If you watch the video again, there was a Nigerian flag, a black fist, and a British flag in the middle. Because at the time there was NSARS happening in Nigeria with the police officers murdering innocent civilians. There was the riots here in the UK with police brutality. With what happened in America. So like very, very purpose driven. I came on to Kendrick Lamar's DNA. Everything was there for a reason. And even now, my stand up, people, you watch any of my performances, watch it again with a fresh pair of eyes. I'm trying to say something. I've always believed that being an entertainer, a performer, a creator, you have been given a responsibility to have a message. It's easy to be funny.
And that's how you create the content for your community.
Yeah, it's easy to be funny. A guy falls on his face, that's funny. But can you be funny and have a message though? You know, so that's something that always bit me in the backside as a stand-up, because I refused to do a lot of stuff as well early in my career because I felt that it was demeaning.
Yeah.
And that meant that I got less work. But I'm proud, I'm happy that I did things that way, because now nobody can ever say that Nabil Abdulrashid is a sellout.
Yeah.
No one can ever say that I went on BGT, for example, and watered myself down. I went in there, I was getting threats. I was getting death threats from far-right organizations, far-right people.
Yeah.
Every week. I was getting hate mail, all this kind of stuff. You know, but I still stood I stood 10 toes down, and I represented myself, my culture, my faith, and my people.
So obviously these are massive moments in your life. Already, you know, come so far, but you are doing so much now as well. So what are you, tell us and tell the people listening, what are you doing now? What's exciting you?
Well, at the moment, you know, I was never really much online, but now I'm doing more stuff. I've got like a little ranty news video clip thing I do called Nabil Knows, where I discuss things that are happening in the world, globally, in the UK. Thank you.
It's good, yeah.
Then also, like, I'm on tour. I'm doing the Purple Pill tour, so you know I'm around the country doing stuff, and then I'll be doing a new tour at the start of next year as well.
Okay.
So I've got these things going on, and I'm very busy now trying to make up for all the lost time.
Love that.
You know?
Some voiceovers?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm currently working on an animated series now, but before that, I voiced several characters on a show called Iwaju, which is the first African-produced Disney project featuring African actors. It's set in future dystopian Lagos.
You spoke about some challenges that you faced when you were released from prison, but what do you think can be done now to support people like us who are released from prison?
I think more there should be more open-minded policies, especially with like blue chip companies, about hiring. I think there should be organizations that work, like our organization was a middleman. So we got agreements from certain employers that, given a good character reference, we could act as a guarantor for people who are ex-offenders and are trying to get jobs. So there's that. I think there should be some sort of legal mandate as well for rehiring. I think that only certain crimes need to be disclosed. You know, like there's some crimes like arson, maybe, and crimes against minors. Those, of course, but anything else should not be disclosed, I don't think, especially if somebody has gone 5 years without committing an offense. You know, if my past truly if I'm truly rehabilitated, then...
Yeah, I say that all the time. If you truly believe in the justice system and in rehabilitation, then...
And you have to believe in us.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And we also heard that, you said prison made you fearless. What did you mean by that?
I mean, what do you think? You've been there. No, it's just like people come to you, they're like, oh, you're a comedian, you're so brave. Man, shut up, bro. Like, brave is when 4 men run into your cell with razor blades to try and take away your tuna, and you have to fend them off yourself. That's brave. Brave is, you know, I think, you know, prison, you know that feeling of everyone else moving forward with their lives and you're just sat here. And this is why I say as well, people need to stop glamorizing this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you've got these documentaries where celebrities go into jail for a bit of fun, and it's not meant to be that way. We need to stop glamorizing it. The culture needs to stop glamorizing it. You know, there's nothing cool about having and this is why, like, when guys say they commit crime because they're a rebel against the system. No, you're not. You're not, because the system would rather you commit crimes than you have a legit job. Because, you know, they need you. prison is a big business now.
We were talking about this the
Prison
other
is
day.
they're opening all these super prisons now. Prison is a big business. And I'm not saying everyone there's many people in prison who genuinely want to yield good results.
Yep.
But for the most part, like, statistically, you have to look at your odds. Once you're in there, once you get to like 30 and you're still going to jail, my brother,
You're not a good criminal.
you know, I mean, not even that. Like, there's no such thing as a good criminal.
I hear you.
Unless you're a Tory. But, but like, you have these situations where guys are going into jail and they're wearing like a badge of honor. Big man, someone else is telling you when to go to sleep.
Yeah.
You're supposed
When
to be
to
this
eat.
rebel.
When
I think,
you can come out your door, yeah.
you mentioning that you like feel behind, this is something that we speak about a lot as well. And you're playing catch up. That feeling is not nice. That feeling is that.
And it stays with you.
Yeah, it does.
And it does. And do you know what?
It does.
Because it doesn't
talking about
go.
that the other day
Still
as
now,
well,
like
yeah.
you think where you could be having not done all those years and stuff like that. And that's a form of trauma. So
Yeah.
you know, everything that you're saying right now, and you know, to speak about not glamorizing prison, and it's not fun, and it's not this place, and breaking down that stigma that its society has, is really important for us.
100%.
And we're thanking you for saying that on the show, because
Thank you.
it's important.
My greatest accomplishment is this. When people who don't know find I've been to prison, they don't believe me. That is my greatest accomplishment. And I think a lot of people need to stop making being an ex-convict their personality.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you've got guys out here that
It's just a part of the story.
Yeah.
It's not
Like,
their story.
You've
innit?
got a guy that went to jail when he was 15, talking about prison every day when he's 45. Big man, you're not a roadman anymore. That's like me claiming to still be a secondary school student. Like, life moves on.
Yeah.
But I mean, part of it is arrested development. Part of it is society not allowing people to move forward as well. But, you know, I really wish the culture would stop glamorizing prison. Yes, they've got TV in there now and so on, but you could get TV outside.
Yeah.
You could go, you can get hench in prison, but idiot, £15 a month, you can go gym group and do the exact
That's
same
right.
thing.
That's
So,
right.
you know,
Thank
For real.
you.
No, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thank you for saying that.
Yeah. And hopefully with your platform, obviously that message can spread wider and further, I hope.
And stop people from drinking fizzy water.
I've never heard that before in my life. What you said earlier, I have never heard. I think that.
If you're watching this,
if you're watching the socials,
sparkling water
yeah.
is regular water that posh people fart in. It's the Illuminati, and they do it at the Illuminati farty party.
I actually can't. Can we wrap this up?
Yeah, no, because I drank sparkling water. Context, I drank some sparkling water. I didn't know it was sparkling. I was like, oh,
Fart water, yeah, drink,
fart
man.
water.
Real natural gas water, yeah.
The bill's too much, you know. What we like to do in Life After Prison, is like highlight, shout out organizations that can support people in their journey in prison and in life after prison. Are there any organizations you'd like to give a spotlight to?
Absolutely. The Andrew Pritchard Foundation, they're brilliant. They do great work. Red Threads is good. Then, of course, there's Forever Family, headed by my bro, Raspect.
Yeah.
Good guy. Him and I both got invited to the House of Lords when I was doing all that. So those organizations there are amazing. And we need more like them. And then obviously for young men who are at risk of going to prison, there's a place called I'm Possible State of Mind. It's a sister company to Top Tier Muay Thai,
Okay.
run by my friend Mark Goodrich. He, is an ex-offender himself who now works to get kids off the street. He's created this hub in Croydon that works both as like a holistic wellness center, but he also coaches Muay Thai. He's coached several champions.
Love that.
Wow.
Love that. Thanks for
No, brilliant.
spotlighting those.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
just to add to the organizations Nabil has mentioned, there's the Angel Comedy Club Trust, who deliver classes to young people to build confidence and with an aim to improve accessibility and inclusivity for each person into the arts.
Yay.
We're going to put all of those organizations that we mentioned.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Goldsmiths University, man.
Okay.
Because they were brilliant. I remember walking in, they had no places left. Goldsmiths University and St. Mary's, sister
Perfect.
unis. I remember walking in, they had no more places left on their course. And they asked me, like, what because you have a gap in it, what were you doing? And I said, I was in jail. They're like, okay. And then I just acted out a scene from a play on the spot. And the lecturer was like, fascinating. I feel we could learn more from you than you could ever learn from us. You've got a place in our school. And I got to
we need to clip
part
that
of the
one.
drama.
That needs to get clipped.
I got to do drama and applied theatre, and yeah. And the other day, recording on a site for like a program that's coming out soon.
Okay.
I bumped into somebody else that had the same movement coach.
Wow.
From Goldsmiths. So they're doing great work. A lot of Goldsmiths courses are available, or at least were available in prisons. So their one university actually does that. St. Mary's also does a prison theatre course.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, shout out to those two.
Yeah,
guys, man.
definitely big them up.
Yeah, so we'll put all of these organisations in the show notes. So definitely check them out. You can find them there. And of course, you know, we love you guys getting in touch. So please get in touch, especially if you think you've got a joke that's funnier than one of Nabil's. You can get in touch with us at After Prison Pod on Instagram or X. It's Life After Prison Pod on TikTok. If you want to email us, it's podcast@prison.radio. And if you're inside, then get in touch with us the usual way through National Prison Radio. So Nabil, a massive thank you for joining us today. You've been amazing.
Yeah, thanks, man.
And a massive thank you to you guys for listening and watching.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.